Before this sentence even begins, just look at the weight in that room. The judge's tone is heavy. Why? Because what you were about to witness is not just sentencing, it's a moral reckoning for every person involved. Let's break this down.
This case was obviously tragedy in every way. And Mr. Cristo has been impacted more than any human ever should. I think I wish I could give her what she wanted, could be her son back, but there's no way to do that because of the plot that you guys did participate in. But when I look at the actual roles of what was done, and I look at the assistance that was provided, I think what your attorneys are asking for is appropriate. So, as Mr. Godwin, in accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, you're hereby judged guilty of accessory to commit murder or receive felony. I'm going to impose the $25 administrative assessment fee, $3 DNA collection fee, $150 DNA fee, as well as the test. You're hereby sentenced to 24 to 60 months without Department of Corrections, suspended for a period not to exceed 24 months. During that time, you're subject to the standard terms of probation as well as the digital search clause. Continued participation in the biggest strong of the program. You're to have no contact with your co-defendants, including your brother, and you're to consume no alcohol, 0%, or drugs to include marijuana. You are released from high-level electronic monitoring. You're to report to P&P within 48 hours.
That was the first sentencing. And while it sounds technical, did you catch it? The judge suspended the prison term. That means no actual prison time if the defendant follows strict probation. But one misstep. Boomvos, 24 to 60 months come crashing down. Real stakes.
As to Ms. Dennis, you're hereby judged guilty of count 1, voluntary manslaughter with use of the deadly weapon, count 2, robbery, count 3, conspiracy to commit robbery. I'm going to impose the $25 administrative assessment fee, $3 DNA collection fee, $150 DNA fee, as well as the test. As to count 1, you're sentenced to 4 to 10 years on the voluntary manslaughter portion. For the use of a deadly weapon, I've considered the factors laid out in NRS 193.165A3 inclusive. We'll fix that at a consecutive 4 to 10 year sentence. As to count 2, 4 to 10 years concurrent. As to count 3, 2 to 5 years concurrent. That is suspended for a period not to exceed 5 years. During that time, you're subject to the standard terms of probation. Additionally, you have no contact with your co-defendants, no alcohol or drugs, and you are to obtain a GED or high school diploma. We're hereby released from high-level electronic monitoring and report to P&P within 40.
3 defendants. 3 different outcomes, but here's what's wild. All 3 get probation, despite charges that include voluntary manslaughter and robbery. Is this leniency, or did the court see something deeper? Stick around because Daisy's story is about to flip the courtroom upside down.
Hours. As to Ms. Gonzalez, you're hereby judged guilty of count 1, voluntary manslaughter with use of a deadly weapon, count 2, robbery, count 3, conspiracy to commit robbery. I'll impose the $25 administrative assessment fee, $3 DNA collection fee, $150 DNA fee, as well as the test. Count 1, voluntary manslaughter, 4 to 10 years without Department of Corrections. For the use of a weapon, I've considered factors laid out in NRS 193.165A3 inclusive, and we'll fix that at a consecutive 4 to 10 years. As to the robbery, I'll sentence you to 4 to 10 years without Department of Corrections on count 2, concurrent. As to the conspiracy to commit robbery, I'll sentence you to 2 to 5 years without a Department of Corrections from concurrent. That is suspended for a period not to exceed 5 years. During that time, you're subject to the standard terms of probation as well as the digital search clause. No contact with any of your co-defendants. No alcohol or drugs to include marijuana. Obtain your GED or high school diploma. You're also to continue your counseling in CCBC. You are released from custody to report to P&P within 48 hours. Good luck to all of you. You will not get a second chance.
Thank you, Your Honor. You do have to do the restitution.
CCBC, do we have Mr. Salon back? And Mr. State, anything you wanted to say regarding this Gonzalez? No. Mr. Township.
I know my client would like to address the court. I don't know if you want her to do that now or if you want her to wait until after I've spoken.
Go ahead, Ms. Gonzalez, what do you want to tell me about this crime?
I wanted to say good morning first, and I do want to start off by sending my condolences to Anita for the loss of her family, and for the loss of her son, Darian Alexander Gonzalez. I want to say that I'm not a bad kid. Before being arrested, I was a full-time scholar at Democracy Prep, Agassiz campus. I had no prior educations in the juvenile system. Since being arrested, I have completed several classes, and as of today, I am maintaining the GPA of a 4.0. I've learned valuable lessons throughout the course of me being in custody. Yes, I did lie, being evasive and hesitant to provide answers asked by both detectives leading the case, simply because I was scared for the safety and security of my family as well as myself. For those people sitting on the bench, I do anything to keep them safe. Even if it meant keeping my mouth closed on the situation. The night that the incident occurred, I was grabbed very roughly and threatened to stay silent. But I asked myself, what's the point of being quiet if I have a voice? I do take accountability for my role and participation. I had no idea anybody was going to get hurt. I was easily influenced and manipulated. I was 15 years old when the incident occurred. I'm now 17. March 4th of 2024. I was not arrested, I was rescued. I've made magnificent changes that will stick with me throughout my life, my entire life. And I know, if given a second opportunity...
Pause. Did you feel that shift? Daisy just said, I was not arrested, I was rescued. That line does not come from a defense script. That's raw. That's someone who's had two birthdays, the one she was born on and the one where the system forced her to wake up. And believe it or not, the judge is actually listening.
I'm making my mission to do as much good in the world as I possibly could. Even though I know...
I'm going to start by telling you that I'm going to ask for probation as well. I would echo what Mr. Fumo said, that is certainly an uncommon request given the gravity of the charges in this case. But I would also tell you that this is clearly an unusual case, and without a doubt, from my perspective, Daisy is truly a unique client. I've appeared in front of you a lot. I've argued a lot of heavy cases. I think you know that I care a lot about the people I represent, and I want them to have the best representation possible. And I don't think it's any small thing to say that I care more about Daisy and the outcome of this case than probably any other case I've ever handled in my career. When I got this case, I got a booking photo of a kid. And it was a kid. I have kids the same age. And I had the opportunity to meet her and spend time with her, and spend time with her family. This is a kid who's endured a lot in life. And it's a weird situation because whenever we find a child in the criminal justice system, we have to wonder how they got there, right? And when you look at Daisy's past, she's overcome a lot of hurdles without even knowing she was experiencing them. Like she's had.
This is a legal twist people rarely talk about. When a minor enters the justice system, courts do not just ask what did they do, they ask who failed them. And Daisy, she was swimming against a tidal wave of trauma, addiction, abuse, incarcerated parents. But somehow, she stayed afloat.
The ability to look back in hindsight now at what she's gone through. She struggled with parents that were in and out of custody, family members that went to prison, people in her family the victim of the worst types of crimes we can imagine. She was exposed to substance abuse at a very young age. Her mother had a problem with addiction. And I will tell the court that this is one of those rare circumstances where I think this arrest and confrontation with the criminal justice system is the best thing that could ever happen to not only Daisy, but her entire family. She's got a lot of family here today. If you're here today, Daisy, raise your hand. I think there's over a dozen people in the courtroom, including her mother, who got sober as a result of this case and has been here for every part of it. I have constant contact with her. Her great-grandmother is here. And if you want to know a little bit about Daisy, it's not just her family members, because they're all here. Cousins, aunts, uncles, sisters-in-law. We expect family to be there for a loved one in the criminal justice system. But if you want to know a little bit about Daisy, I'd ask you to consider who else is here for her. She had a counselor at school. Her letter is attached, I think, as Exhibit 2 in my sentencing memorandum. She's here today. When Daisy was in custody, she befriended a young girl who had a lot of developmental disabilities, read, wrote, and performed life's functions as a 6-year-old. But she was also in the juvenile justice system. Daisy befriended her, she mentored her, She spent such time with her, and it was so impactful to her and her family that her mom is here today. I would suggest that that probably will never happen again in your career as you sit here on the bench. When confronted with what happened in this case, I want you to consider how Daisy got there, first of all. Because she's not a planner of the robbery. She's not a participant in the violence. She had no clue violence was going to happen that night. And when she first went to Darian's house, she had no clue he was going to be robbed. Very clear, we talked about it in this case, it's discussed in our...
So, here we are, a teenage girl caught in a robbery gone wrong, now standing in a courtroom not just being judged, but being redefined. She's not the mastermind, not the killer, but is she still responsible? You tell me. Drop your thoughts in the comments because this case is anything but black and white.
Memorandum, Daisy was aspiring to be a musician. She's very talented. She's shown me what she does in the musical world, and I would tell the court she's very talented.